Good morning, Bitcoin. We're live once again from the Baltic Honeybadger Conference in Riga, Latvia. We're joined by Ray from Paxful. How's it going, Ray?
Hey, thank you, gentlemen. It's great to be here.
So now at Paxful, you guys are a Bitcoin exchange, you're a decentralized kind of exchange. What do you guys do at Paxful?
Well, Paxful is a marketplace for exchanges, right? So anyone that wants to exchange anything can go there and put up an offer, and we exchange things for Bitcoin. So basically, at the end of the day, it kind of acts like a universal translator for money. So any form of money, whether it's a gift card, cash, PayPal, Google Wallet, anything can become Bitcoin. And then once you have that Bitcoin in your Paxful wallet, it can become any other form of money. So you can put in an Amazon gift card code into Paxful, and boom, get out a PayPal deposit in the UK, or an Xbox gift card code, or cash and a Cambodian bank account, or any form of money can become anything else. There are over 300 different payment methods supported.
And where do people use Paxful? Is it mainly in the United States?
Well, the United States is our biggest market, but right behind it, and they actually fight neck and neck for one, is Nigeria. And right behind that is little Ghana, right next to it. And now right after them is India, and moving up very fast. So the vast majority of our user base is in the emerging world, in frontier markets, especially Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia, the places where people really need Bitcoin most. And I don't know if you guys know what Paxful means. It means peace and land. And my co-founder and I, we originally fell in love with Bitcoin because it can make a more peaceful world. You know, with an honest money system, we don't need to fight each other. We don't want to fight each other. We just want to do good business and use our money and use our wealth and live a good life. That's it. And that's what Bitcoin is to us, right? And we only support Bitcoin right now. However, there are 300 payment methods, and some cryptocurrencies are also payment methods. So you can exchange Bitcoin for Ethereum or other things, but we always make sure to use Bitcoin as the kind of central clearing layer, right? There has to be a universal system of money in the world. The world absolutely needs that. I'm a kind of a Bitcoin maximalist at heart. I'm not kind of, I am, right? So we really push for that.
That is amazing. And because you have so many different methods of payment, right, there are different options that the user can eventually use. And especially in countries like Ghana, what methods of payment do they prefer?
It's a great question. So before I answer your question, if you will allow me, sir, I must let you guys know about something that is it is interesting, because depending on what form of payment you use, the margins are different. Like, for example, if I want to buy Bitcoins with my bank account on Paxful, I'll pay maybe a 3% fee. Not to Paxful, but to the guy you're buying it from, because he has to go through the trouble of getting your bank, making sure that you are who you are, say you are, and then turning that money into Bitcoin for you, right? Now, if you use an iTunes gift card and you want to buy Bitcoin, you could be losing up to 50% or more. And it's a free market. Anyone can come up there and say, hey, give me your $1,000 Amazon gift card code and I'll give you back $500 of Bitcoin. And there's a lot of people that take that deal for a lot of different reasons. So the question is, what are their reasons? What are the actual use cases of Bitcoin? People, when I tell people about this peer-to-peer marketplace, that this scene that exists, they're like, "This is impossible. Why would anyone do?" I was getting 70% off Whole Foods gift cards on gift card.
Wow.
Yeah, I was living La Vida Loca in Whole Foods, man. A great place, I say, especially for,
as they call it, whole paycheck, right? But you got 70% off at whole paycheck. That's like a raise. I mean, that's a fantastic deal.
Yeah, the question is, why does that happen? So our most common payment method on Paxful is iTunes gift cards, right? Now, there is a humongous trade of iTunes gift cards that are coming from Nigerians and being sold to Chinese, right? It's like $10 million a week. An iTunes gift card goes from China, from Nigeria to China. And when we first saw that, when we looked at it, we were like, what? Where are they getting all these? Why are they doing? And what are those dudes doing with all those iTunes gift cards? There's some Chinese vendors on Paxful that are like taking $100,000 of iTunes gift cards a day. How many in-app purchases can you buy in Clash Royale? For Christ's sakes!
He just needs a lot of music. He just needs a lot of music.
I can get anyone to number one. Come talk to me, ladies. Sad but true. All right, so all seriousness aside, so there's amazing things happening in peer-to-peer currency and what's going on. So let's talk about actual use cases, right? And I really want to get this off my chest because, you know, when we talk about Bitcoin, people, they have such a skewed use of what Bitcoin is really being used for, right? And let's be honest, here in the West, we only know Bitcoin for two things, which is vices, like, you know, sports betting, gambling, adult, whatever, the gray market. So it's vices, and two, speculation, right? And it's all that, right? That's all we think about Bitcoin. That's all it's used for. And indeed,
and people are down on speculation, but it's a perfectly valid use case. There's lots of things that people speculate on.
Absolutely, absolutely. The thing is, it's not to judge any one of those use cases, right? If someone wants to put a bet on a horse, I don't do it, but fine. We don't judge, right? It's money, right? But there are other use cases. There are 4 other use cases for a total of 6 use cases of Bitcoin that we have observed by watching our users. And that's, you know, we're not the smart guys like the core devs or all these brilliant people out there. We're just really simple dudes. I am. And my team is brilliant, but I'm just a simple guy. And I'm the CEO, but I do customer support a couple times a week because we want to know what the users are doing on the front lines or what they're trying to do. So vices, speculation. Great. 2. What are the other 4? All right. So number 1, wealth preservation, right? And to us, that doesn't mean anything because our currency is relatively stable, right? But in Venezuela, where there's 1,000,000% anticipated inflation this year, it's all the difference, right? If you can put your money into Bitcoin, even if it goes down by 70% tomorrow, you're still ahead by 400% at the end of the week anyway, right? Yeah. And it's not just Venezuela. You know, we're seeing Turkey go down this road, Argentina. You know, Zimbabwe has already gone down this road. Russia, they tried to take Russia down this road. And it was too strong, so it resisted. But the currency wars are only just starting up. And this is a reality that we have to accept. We don't suffer from this in the West, but let's see it from other people's point of view. It's everything. If you're a single mother with 3 kids and you just got paid today, and if you don't use the money now, you're not going to have diapers or food for this week for your kids. Pretty important. So I actually place that as number 1 because when you're in that kind of situation, it's everything, right? And Bitcoin is perfect for that, right? Number 2, second use case is payments, right? Now here in the West, again, we have Visa cards. We have, you know, we can pay stuff on. There's nothing to stop us from buying, you know, an iPhone X from Amazon, you know, as long as we have $1,100 in our bank account, right?
I can't wait till I get home to do that. On the list.
Exactly. Now, if you are in certain African countries, and big ones too, like Nigeria, etc., sometimes, even if you have $1,000,000 in your bank account over there, and you have a Visa card, bank card, the bank will limit you to $100 a month maximum total you can spend online with that card. So you can have $1,000,000 in the account, but you can only spend $100. You're not buying an iPhone X online, right? So what are you going to do then? If all the plastic in your wallet limits you to $100 a month, how do you pay for stuff online, right? What a lot of people on Paxful were doing, a lot of Africans were doing was like, oh, well, I want that iPhone X. Oh, I can get it off AliExpress. Oh, AliExpress takes Alipay. I can open up an Alipay account. Very easy. Basically, they have like $1,000 of Bitcoin for sale on their Paxful wallet. Pull out an ad, say, hey, I'll sell you this Bitcoin. And just, you know, send the money to my Alipay account. And they can charge market rate, or they can charge an initial 10%. So they basically get they give, you know, a 10% discount. They give $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. They get $1,100. Some guy in China who's money in his Alipay account, he's like, oh yeah, I'll take the Bitcoin at 10% market price or market rate, whatever. I'll take it. He's like, great. He sends the money, boom. Then the African guy just buys the iPhone X from AliExpress with his Alipay funds. He's just jumped around it, right? You know, you can basically do anything you want. In fact, I was using it for payments myself because my European bank account got shut down, so I had to kind of borrow a bank account, right? Yeah. And I put out an ad on Paxful. Yeah, I want to sell €1,000 worth of Bitcoin. I put it at market price because I wanted to do it quickly. And one German guy was like, oh, yeah, market price for Bitcoin? Yeah, to the bank account? Yeah, give me your bank account. I'm like, oh, here's the invoice, and it's my lawyer's bank account. Just send him. He was like, okay. He doesn't care who's sending it to. So the dude just paid my bill for me. Mm-hmm. And that's what peer-to-peer finance can do. You can borrow a bank account anywhere in the world, or any payment instrument anywhere in the world, right? And people can pay for you. One of my friends, he actually had a guy meet him with a Whole Foods gift card and actually like buy him his groceries 50% off or something really weird. I think they became friends afterwards. Anyway, the point is you can like pay a bill anywhere. And that even goes for higher level things like importing. Like a lot of people in Africa were actually importing cars from the United States, used ones, and then selling them for like 500% in Africa, but they couldn't do it anymore because the central bank over there in that country stopped letting them convert the money to euros or dollars because they were under inflation attack on what the government wanted to hold on to the money for themselves, you know, to buy, you know, military gear or medicine or whatever. So what were these guys going to do? Their business was destroyed. Again, they just get some Bitcoin into the wallet. They can sell it. And the guy, to an American guy at market rate, the American guy's like, what's your bank account? He's like, here's the auction house's bank account in Michigan. Just buy me the car. Buys him the car. His business is restored. Even though his bank has forsaken him, his business is restored with peer-to-peer finance. So that's a pretty solid series of examples for use case number 2.
And what's so interesting about that is it sounds a little bit like the sharing economy. Everyone says Uber is a car company that owns no cars, but what you're saying is you could be a bank company that owns no banks, and that the account becomes the car that we share.
Exactly it. And, with Paxful is like Uber for money or Airbnb for money. We don't have any bank accounts, but literally you can borrow thousands of bank accounts and thousands of all kinds of accounts, PayPal accounts, Google Wallet accounts, anything. Anything can go through this system, right? So,
well, and to think about different countries and how it's difficult to bank overseas, and certainly I don't have a Japanese bank account, but presumably I could use this system to pay someone in Japan.
Absolutely. You can borrow a bank account anywhere in the world. It's like having a friend that has every bank account available to you at any time.
That's a great friend, yeah.
It is. And that's the friend that we actually have now. That's what peer-to-peer finance actually promises us. So before I get into peer-to-peer finance, it's become my geeked out passion right now. Let me just finish the use cases. We got 2 more, right? Yeah. So we just finished number 2. Number 3 is e-commerce, right? So I was in Africa and I met this beautiful lady named Bahira, and she showed me her Instagram, and it was all these clothes she makes for women in Africa, and she sells them to European ladies or African ladies living outside of Africa, right? The beautiful clothes, and I asked her, oh, what's your shopping cart? How do you get paid? You know, I'm a total finance, like crypto geek. I want to know how you collect the money, right? And then she says, oh, I don't have a shopping cart. I just, they like my stuff. They message me on Instagram, and she gives them her friend his bank account. She has a friend, like he was also an African guy, but he lives in New York now, and they have the same African bank account, the same bank in Africa, but he also has a New York account. So she just gives them his New York routing and every bank number, and they send to him, and he does the conversion, sends to her. And she's like, I was like, okay. I was like, that's very resourceful that she figured that out. Now, everyone on Paxful and everyone in peer-to-peer finance, they all have a friend just like that, right? Because she could not get a merchant account with Visa and MasterCard, but she did not have an American or U.S. corporation. Again, this is another thing we take for granted. If you want to sell some stuff online and I'm not American or European, I don't have a corporation, I can't do it. Some people fly over from their countries just to New York, just to open up a corporation just so they can get a merchant account, right? What happened to all the rest of the people? Again, she can accept Bitcoin, or she can we're coming out with something called Pay with Paxful. It's actually powered over $120 million of payments, and it's basically a way where someone can pay you Bitcoin without Bitcoin. So they can basically pay you Bitcoin with a gift card, with anything, and we just do the conversion to our peer-to-peer network. And once she has the Bitcoin, she can just sell it for money to her bank account and usually make another 5 to 10% on top of it all. So boom, she just restored her business, her exporting e-commerce business, right? That's use case number 3. And use case number 4 is pretty awesome. It's remittance, right? And we all got into Bitcoin because, oh yeah, it's really going to help the little guy. And it really will. And we're the guys executing on that mission. The thing is, everyone in the beginning was talking about remittance. Remittance is going to be killer for Bitcoin. It's going to be killer for Bitcoin. And we haven't really seen that's been the case, right? Well, so what's going on? It made perfect sense, right? So here's what we're noticing about remittance in peer-to-peer finance. It's not about saving money. It's like the way we're marketing is, oh, you can save $10 sending your $100. But you talk to actual immigrants and people that do this, and they're like, all right, but it's not big enough incentive because the poor are used to paying more for financial services anyway. Sure. Now, here's what's exciting. Tell them, hey, you're not just going to save $10 or save $9.50. If you use remittance with peer-to-peer finance, you're going to send $100, right? And your mama back home in Indonesia, she's going to get $110 of local money. You make a bonus, right? Because if you buy Bitcoin and you buy it for almost nothing, 1% in the United States or Europe or whatever, you can sell it to someone in those countries for a much higher premium because it's much harder for them to get Bitcoin. And your mama, she gets plus 10% or more. Now that's nice. People actually turn that into a business. I was talking to a guy from Bangladesh. I told him about that. Now he was paying his friend who ran a kind of service through his friend to do this called Washington Express, and he was paying, he said $7 for $100. And I was like, okay. I told him about this. He tried it, and he's like, I made $10. And it's like, he asked me, can I do this again? I'm like, yeah, man, you can keep doing it, man. You can keep doing it with that. And he's like, the dude started a business and where he basically started exporting stuff from Bangladesh to get the money back to the U.S. at a little profit, but he made his money back. So he had a trade route, basically a Bitcoin to money in a Bangladeshi bank account, which he used to buy stuff with the initial 10 to 20%, then export it to the United States, sell it there for a few more percent, and then rinse and repeat. He had his trade route. He was making 15%. He quit his job selling hot dogs on 45th Street and 3rd Avenue. That's the American dream, my friends.
Absolutely. It's a whole new kind of business and a whole new way of looking at things, and it takes away those inefficiencies in the market, other problems that people have had.
So there is a big misconception between a method of payment and a medium of exchange, right? A method of payment is just something that I use to buy something. A medium of exchange goes one step further. I buy Bitcoin not in order to consume it or to use it in production, but rather to later, in an uncertain future, use it as a method of payment. So the medium of exchange here is highly influenced by the spread between buying and selling, by the liquidity in the market. And so what is the liquidity at Paxful? Is there, and how big is the spread?
Again, it depends on the payment method, right? The options, right? So if you want to do some gift cards, remember I got into this business 3.5 years ago. 3 years ago, Paxful's 3 years old. We have 2.5 million users now. I got into this business 3 years ago, and I was in New York, and I was working on a project with my friend Artur, my co-founder now, and I was homeless at the time. I went through all my savings, and I was really in a bad spot. And a friend of mine came to me. He's like, "Hey, man, you look like you're in a rough spot, man. Haven't showered in a little while. Hey, you can get one. Okay, you can see. Basically, told me you can make 100% profit or a 50% profit. Or like I can sell $250 worth of Bitcoin and get a $500 PayPal My Cash gift card back." I was like, "No way. Why would anyone do that?" I mean, I tried it. It worked. It worked. I wasn't homeless anymore. And that's how this whole thing started. But gift cards are our most popular payment option. About 80% of our volume is gift cards. And the spread varies. It's a total free market, Someone can get on there and he can give you more for an Amazon gift card, not less. But the thing we have to understand is that when you're talking about helping the unbanked and underbanked peoples of the world, it's not about the spread. It's not about saving them money. It's about giving them a way to transact with this economy at all. This is the thing we can't understand. Like we're talking, we want to save some money in the West. Okay, saving money is a luxury. If you can't even use the money at all, that's the real problem. And that's the problem these people are in. And you only know that when you actually look at what they're doing. If you go on to Paxful.com and you hit up support, you might hit me up as like a random day each week, I'll be doing support. And we do that all the time because we really want to know the help that people need.
So minor technical question. How do users use Paxful? Do they use mobile phones? Is it an app? Do they use the web page? What's the most popular way to use it?
Well, it's definitely, our website is the only way to use Paxful right now. There is no Paxful app. It's coming very, very soon. But anything you'll see out there is, do not download it. It's fake, right? Yeah. So the 80% of our users or more are on mobile, right? And some are on VPN, but there's probably still on mobile as well, right? So mobile is overwhelmingly, and it's mostly like Android, right? Africa and, poorer undeveloped nations. So by sheer number of transactions, Paxful is by and far the world's most popular P2P marketplace. But we do like very, very big transactions. The average is $25, right? Really small quantities, right? In that sense, we're far and ahead of any other peer-to-peer marketplace, right? And we do a lot of wallet transactions as well. There was a time where the Paxful wallet was like the third most busiest wallet by number of transactions in the world. And that's, again, because poor people are sending a lot. They use it as a payment network a lot, right? We notice these things. We'll be more vocal about educating the scene about what we've learned. But the main thing we have to understand, I just want to leave everyone with this. It's about the real use cases for real people, right? Here in the West, we only see like 1/3 of the whole equation or less, right? There's this humongous potential for these other 4 use cases around the world, humongous, and it changes people's lives. It really does. We were in Africa last year when we built our first school in Rwanda, and I was walking around and we stopped at this one sugarcane shop. And we had some great sugarcane, and I walked down, he was really cool. He was like, "Yeah, hey you guys, it's my shop." And he's like, we started talking, and then we said, yeah, we're with this startup called Paxful. He's like, "Paxful, I use Paxful." I was like, this guy uses Paxful. The guy that owned the sugarcane shop, he was actually from Kenya, but living in Rwanda, opened up a sugarcane shop with his wife, and he was on Paxful. And he said, yeah, he actually opened up the sugarcane shop with the money he made on Paxful. And he was telling us all about it. We were like, like it changed his life. He actually started a business like that. And that's the thing. If you let people start their own businesses and show them a way to be an entrepreneur and be an entrepreneur in the most awesome industry ever, like fintech, crypto, like this is huge. This changes the world. So we're doing this one step at a time. Because remember, there's 3 billion people out there that are unbanked, more that are underbanked. And there's quite a few of us that are overbanked and not happy about it. They'll all be coming to crypto. They want to come. It's our job to really understand and educate ourselves about what people really need and what the potential is, the real use cases in this whole peer-to-peer financial matrix, and build those applications for those people, not for our buddies. You know, like I'm saying this because it's so important. You don't know how hard it is for a normal person to use Bitcoin until you sat on the phone for 2 hours with some poor middle-aged lady, and she's got 3 kids, she's got a smartphone, she's not techie. Imagine trying to teach her how to copy and paste a long, freaky Bitcoin address and send it and put it, like, it's a nightmare. Like, simplest things. We need to think on that level, right? We really need to be able to pull our egos back, stop being technocrats, and look at those people and help them. And that's what we do every day at Paxful. That's why our volume has continued to grow where everyone else's volume is, landslided. We're still growing because this marketplace, this peer-to-peer financial structure is only just getting started. Only just getting started.
Well, I think that's really important. A lot of people are excited that the banks are coming in and the ETFs and the futures and all these things, but those people have money already. I think we need to get it to the normal people, the people who putting 1,000 in now could help them in the future, and even using Paxful to turn that 1,000 into 1,100 or 1,200 to kind of do these, circular trades and to build their systems that can enrich them and get them into Bitcoin now while it's still relatively cheap and hasn't been bought up by all of the banks. So.
Absolutely, absolutely, it's absolutely true. Because look, let's not give up on the original mission to help the little guy, right? Just because we've got Win Lambo and we've got all these people, like, that's cool. I'm glad everyone should be making money, but like everyone should be in on this together. It's happening. It's possible now. There's a way to do that. We don't have to try to figure something out. This scene is small and it's growing. So I invite you to join this scene. Like, let's get into peer-to-peer finance for real. Let's explore and flesh out all those other use cases. And let's open our eyes to all those other people around the world that really need this help and didn't know they even needed this help. They didn't know this possibility existed. Even people in crypto aren't really aware about this right now. So let's make everyone aware about this right now, because this is really what's going to put us on the map as something that makes a real difference in the day-to-day lives of normal working class people all over the world.
Absolutely, and everything you said is perfect, and I really, really like your product. It's amazing, and it is a true use case. This is agorism, right? We get shit done, and that is exactly what we need. And of course, here in Bitcoin, we have the mantra, your keys, your Bitcoin. Not your keys, not your Bitcoin. So with the Paxful wallet, first question, do the users have their own keys? And how or what percentage of the user actually stores and hodls Bitcoin?
It's a great question. So first, no, they do not have their own keys. It's not a custodial wallet. It's a hot wallet / warm wallet. We use BitGo. So here's some more stats that are really interesting. Less than 1% of our user base uses 2FA. And we try so hard. We're redoing the entire 2FA system right now to try to get as many people to use it as possible. However, the truth is, and we all have to learn to accept these things. If we get 10% to use 2FA, it'll be a miracle, right? Now, so we need other things to protect them, because a lot of these people are, from Africa, and a lot of African databases have been hacked, and their passwords have been leaked, and if they don't use 2FA, they will get hacked. So we need other things to protect them, like a PIN code. Now, we would love, of course, for people to pull themselves up, learn what money truly is, and learn how they can control their own money, be the pure master of their own enterprise. Now, again, I talk to these folks on the phone, and coming up to these non-techie people who are just coming into Bitcoin for the first time and tell them, hey, would you like to put your entire life savings on your computer? No, it's not going to happen. So there's certain realities. Now, I have a hard wallet. I put my savings on a hard wallet, and I think everyone should. I think everyone should learn about that. We do make educational content to push people there. But at this point, it's really just like a token gesture, because it's so hard to get the normal. And we deal with the normal, mainstream, everyday user, non-techie, like single mom. They don't care about Bitcoin. They sure as hell don't care about blockchain. They just want to get this done, right? That's it. So we have to accept certain realities. Now, I know that day is coming, but there's a lot of work to do. Like, first, we just have to get them to understand the basic system, the possibilities. Forget the technology. What are the benefits for you? If you get them to understand that, what was going to happen is like the strongest 20% will come forward and they will want to control their own finances, right? They will want to do that. And then slowly things will pick up from there and they'll pull up people around them. But what I've found is if you really, the harder you try to push this on the mainstream, it, eventually will happen, but you have to really take your time and meter it and show them the benefits first. It's more of like an emotional engagement than just pure education. Because most people want to learn, it's easy to learn eventually, but they're just not inventing the emotional bandwidth until you actually get them to emotionally commit. I know if I sound like a movie director right now, or that sounds like bullshit, but it's just what I've seen in my experience, right? There's some work to do.
Absolutely. So Ray, thank you very much for joining us. You really do have an amazing product that is helping countless lives, and that is great. Keep it up, keep up the good work, and see you on the next show.
Thank you, gentlemen. Viva World Crypto Network.